still get top 4 to give yourself a better pool.
I'm not getting ahead of myself.
I'm hoping it's starting here.
Because I've seen this video before, okay? I've seen this video before, and it wasn't followed up by gameplay. But I'm hoping it will be for everybody involved.
There's the German Ivy.
For the delay. But here we go, and the game is finally live! Optic Gaming versus Inconceivable. Winners bracket finals. I mean, thank goodness, everybody. We're here, and off the start here, Inconceivable will lose 3.
See, now, if it's going to be a blowout, everyone's going to be disappointed. It better be worth the wait, and that's what I'm saying. Optic and Inconceivable, I want to see this go all the way down to the wire. And already, Mark, Optic are in the base of Inconceivable. They are pulling that flag, but we do see Falcade with the camo.
Oh, we can make such a big play here. He's going to get turned on, but he gets the double beat down, taken down to no shields, but that is going to buy the time that Inconceivable needed. APG in a 1v1. Luckily, those shots were warmed up in matchmaking just a few seconds ago, and Boo Boo Doo is going to be on that return with a sidekick in hand as well. That is a big defensive play early from Inconceivable.
Massive that we were able to see that camouflage be there. Otherwise, that could have been entirely different. We might have seen Optic go 1-0 up, and now we have the counter cap possibility. Something you see on Aquarius CTF, not all teams will prioritize pulling the flag after all 4 dead. They'll run it and they'll slay at the same time. It's what Inconceivable have tried to do here.
Sidekick is going to work for Boo Boo Doo. My word, those shots connected. And Falcated is already moving that flag across the needle side. He's got it back to his bridge, and you can see the sign that says deliver. Well, it's going to be delivered right now. Inconceivable. First flag on the board in the game will go to the team dressed in blue.
And it does seem like a while ago when I mentioned the statistics for these game types, but I will reiterate, this is arguably one of Optic's worst game types in the whole pool of Halo Infinite. So if Inconceivable can take advantage of that and get a victory here, it will give them the perfect footing in this series. And what a way to start. Optic trying to respond with a pull of their own, but it looks like Inconceivable off spawn have done enough to stop it.
Yeah, Optic are actually looking to run back-to-back here, and they're picking up the kills to do so. That's 3 dead. Lucid was last alive. 1 player's come off respawn. As Falcated's already got that flag back to his closet. He's moving across the bridge, and just like a few moments ago, this could be Falcated converting. Bound's going to get that touch. Lucid is trying to do what he can to slow him down. Can he get around this corner? Lucid's going to be chasing him, and Lucid has done enough, at least to delay as the rest of Optic swarm now onto the Inconceivable base.
Snipedown was waiting to try and be sneaky and hoping he could assist, but that is a fantastic collapse from Optic Gaming to ensure that it wasn't going to be them falling 2-0 down. If they hadn't have been so successful with that push, it was going to be very detrimental, but they collapsed successfully. They pinched, they made sure they all pushed at the right time, and it really worked out for them.
1v1, Falcated versus APG. A little bit of assistance comes in from a teammate for APG as the kill does get traded out. But look at that flag. Now you've got Pistolas out top of this Needles. He's got a sidekick, but more importantly, that flag is moving, and it's looking like it was 1-0 to Inconceivable. Not for too long, as Optic now are looking to tie this up. Flag picked up, flag put home.
Just put home as well, and APG was there waiting just as we were waiting for him in his matchmaking game earlier. He would have put that in if he needed to, but Inconceivable with the grenade, taking down the rest of Optic here. This is a really fast-paced, frantic game. This is what I expected from these two teams, just really pushing each other to that next level.
2 down for Optic Gaming. Inconceivable once again doing a great job of slaying their way towards the base, and it's Bound this time who is moving the flag through that closet tunnel towards his teammate. If there's anyone in the base, they're going to have to deal with Lucid for now. You can see Snipedown and Boo Boo just escorting this flag back. Such a vital and pivotal thing you have to do on this game to secure flag caps. Falcated has fallen though. Boo Boo Doo is trying to get across, but that heat wave is going to be difficult to deal with, and Lucid shows no remorse, shows no fear, and now we'll get the flag moving on the counter cap.
Who'd have thought? Lucid's got a heat wave in the hand, just seems to always have something, and banking shots off the walls as well, really knowing how to utilize this heat wave to full effect. I love the attempt from Inconceivable. They set up for angles, they knew how they wanted to run that flag, but unfortunately, they just left too much alive on the side of Optic.
2 dead on either side. Boo Boo and Snipedown alive on the other side. It was APG and Ola for a few moments. Camo has popped top middle, so you're going to see these teams try and get into position to either burn that or get the kill and maybe see the power up being dropped. But you can see the pressure that both teams are putting on this side of the map. It has become the place to be, so to speak. I'm not talking about a nightclub in the center of London. I'm talking about how to run those flags.
Certainly controlling this car area and running flags the car area seems to be what a lot of the pros are agreeing is the best route right now. Certainly there are some arguments for going bottom mid if you have a real slaying power and you are getting 4 down after 4 down. But for the most part, you can slay 2, you can pull that flag towards the closet area, and you really can get it to the other side of the map.
Look at this push coming in from Optic Gaming, though. Side kick, and pick up the kill. Booby is going to have to back down to Pistola, and Pistola is going to back down to the flag to get it moving once more. And he bound in the death screen for now. 2 dead for Optic Gaming, which means that Inconceivable do have a chance to at least put some pressure across the map and maybe stop Pistola at the 75-yard line. That's what's going to happen. Lucid's going to move in, though, and Lucid is going to get the touch on the flag, but he'll be taken down as well. APG last alive here. 4 dead for Optic. Wow. Inconceivable should be able to get this return.
I mean, during all that mayhem, Snipedown was on no shields, but still was able to get in and beat that flag down, and he was being a right nuisance, jumping around everywhere. The flag guy had no idea where Snipedown was, and because of that, they got the return, and now they're starting to run a flag of their own.
Falcated now. Commanding top middle, trying to put pressure onto APG at the back of the base. Good shots from him. Trippy's going to be trying to sneak up behind him. Top plants here. Still not sure what those plants are, but one thing we are sure of is that Snipedown's trying to get that flag back to his base. It's only a few feet away from being converted. And as you can see from Trippy's POV, he's just desperately trying to do what he can to stop that happening. Snipedown now kind of caught in the closet and going to be playing for kills instead. Flag out as well for Inconceivable, so Optic have got the ball. It's a bit of a standoff.
Every single player in the game right now has their head on the swivel, reacting fantastically to call-outs, and you've got to when you are in the ultimate lobby here. But one more flag goes in here for Inconceivable. They take a 2-1 lead. The bound is down the last remaining player.
Now picks up 1, though. 2 dead for Optic as well. So it's going to be a battle for the 50-yard line. Or maybe, as we're seeing this game type develop down, it's going to be a battle for those closets. If you've got the heat wave, you pretty much control it.
Yeah, and it will leave room for people to flank round to P. You saw APG do it a little bit earlier. When that flag was being run, he ran down through bottom P, he got into the opposition base, and he tried to be that thorn in the side. But it doesn't always work out. You have to be a confident player if you're going to do that, because you know you're going to be prioritized at some point. But certainly it does seem this car side, this closet side, is very much the party area right now.
APG falls, Bound will fall as well. Falcated trying to move in to put pressure onto Pistola, that side kick as well. Doing a lot of damage, not just to Pistola, but also a little bit of tick damage as well. There's the area denial coming in from those dynamo grenades that we've mentioned previously. Booba and Falcated. It's one way to deal with Lucid, it's the double up.
Just looking across the stats in the moment, 16 and 12 for Falcated, Boo on the 13 and 12, Snipedown 14 and 11, so plenty of kills on the side of Inconceivable. They seem to be winning the Slayer battle at the moment. Pistola struggling ever so slightly with 7 and 13, just seems to be somewhat off the pace. A player who loves to react to those call-outs and just pick up those kills bottom mid, but there has been so much structure towards the car side. I can understand why Ola has struggled a little bit here.
Snipedown versus Ola. Snipedown's going to win that one. However, Palpatine getting involved once more to do a little bit of tick damage to Snipedown. Look at those shots from Lucid, though. Crispier than some deep-fried bacon, those ones, as Booba now is the next challenge for him. And you can see, once again, just not backing down, locking that reticle onto Booba and forcing him to retreat.
Lucid just playing this one patiently, and there's something that Optic have done really well throughout this, and I know they're 2-1 down, but they really have picked their times correctly. But one thing that's countered that is Inconceivable seem to always have someone there anchoring, waiting, and Snipedown has done it so often. He's really just been watching that flag, watching those runs, and prioritizing killing that guy who tries to flank behind.
3 minutes 30 here for Optic to get that flag moving, and at the moment, looks like they're trying to overload the lobby, but Snipedown doing so much damage to all 3 players who were entering. Now he's trying to survive as Pistola is going to get locked into that reticle, and it'll be Falcated who moves in to actually help him out. Falcated now will pick up yet another kill. Trippy in the 1v1. Trippy had to win that. Trippy did, but not without Bound. Almost immediately cleaning it up, and here is Boo doing what he does best, getting in the base and causing problems.
3 were dead then for Optic Gaming, so off spawn they have to hit these grenades, but that is a fumble from the Boo. The rest of Inconceivable now need to push up ever so slightly, gain some map control here to not allow Optic to push up too far, but APG's already in the base.
Yeah, Booby's got to be careful here because the overextension has already come in from Optic. They are in control of most of the map. The respawns will be coming in from Inconceivable. APG tries to stay alive, but what a play that is from Bound. That is ballsy. He slid straight in as we see once again the Dynamo nades stretching and doing what they can. It's down on the flagpole, but Pistola comes in and gets the pull at the last second.
They got so close there trying to train that one in, but Pistola, recognizing the danger, sweetly and swiftly pushing in to throw out the opposition flag. And that was so close for Inconceivable, but just not quite there.
I mean, that was a huge play. Optic, all of them, stepping up when it matters. With 2 minutes or so left on the clock, you feel like with the way this game has been going, it might have been a little bit too much of an ask for them to maybe turn this around. Trippy with the thrust and Trippy with the shots. Snipe down trying to rotate back with Bound, though. This is an opportunity maybe to pull as those two players are going to be stuck just for a moment, but Trippy's going to re-challenge, and Bound will get the trade. Big play from Bound.
Slippy Trippy, indeed, just being so awkward in the base, but they had to take him down, and thankfully they were able to, otherwise things would have got awkward. But this flag is moving right now. Inconceivable have got 3 dead too.
Lucid should get this one home unless there is one player alive who can cause some problems. But as you can see from the player names, nobody really there as Lucid camouflaged. But with flag in hand, we'll tie this game up in our winners bracket final at 2-2. 1 minute 20 left on the clock.
It just seems like Aquarius CTF screams last minute equalizers. It screams overtime. We've seen it so much in Halo Infinite's history already, whether it be in Europe, whether it be in NA. It's just been happening all over the place. But Optic won't want to allow it to go to overtime. They've been there before. They know how this story ends. Instead, you've got 1 minute to try and prioritize pushing through that closet, working as a unit, get that flag out once more, and try and take the W here.
Snipe down winning the battle against Pistola. Trippy now trying to pick up the pieces, seeing what he can scavenge inside of the closet. Boo Boo and Lucid trade as well, when it looks like Trippy was going to try and play his life, but hello, Falcated sniffed him out. And most importantly, removed him from the closet. Falcated now trying to move up to these Dynamo grenades. I wonder if he's just waiting for them on the respawn so that they can make that push, but here's APG.
And I wonder, are these being timed? Because 2 players trying to prioritize those Dynamo grenades, the sizzle sticks, as Jersey calls them, because they really can make that difference. They can zone out players, they can give you information, and they can get you some huge kills. 20 seconds left, though. One last push for both teams.
Yeah, the problem here for Inconceivable is they're kind of trapped in the fridge. And even though they might be a little bit hungry, it's not where you want to be here on Aquarius. Lucid picks up the kill onto Bound. APG will pick up 2. Trippy picks up another. And all of a sudden, the pressure is on Inconceivable with his last few seconds. Is that flag going to get pulled? Oh. It is, but just a second too late.
OT. That's where we start to head ourselves. It just seems to happen so often here on Aquarius CTF. But both teams seem to have the other's number when it comes to those flag pulls. They know exactly how they're going to run them because they're running it very similarly. They are focusing that car area. They're pulling the flag in the same position, so they know how to stop it because they've been on the receiving end of it so many times. The camouflage was really important and played a massive factor in so many times in that game. So I'm expecting it to see prioritized here right from the get-go.
Falcated on long overextension to start off here, just trying to get behind enemy lines, but now he's got to retreat back. As you can see, his teammate Bound is engaged with Pistola, so I like this play from Bound, recognizing that a 1v3 against the respawners is probably something he's not going to be able to win too easily. Going to go for that buddy system and move in with his teammate. Trippy is going to get beaten down twice and put into the dirt, but Ola will jump out for that double kill. Or at least 2 in quick succession. 2 down for Inconceivable at this point.
You'll notice how all these players, they know how the melee system works by this point. They recognize that actually it is so much about getting up close and personal, utilizing that thrust, trying to hit those back smacks, and of course the sidekick, meleeing faster than the BR. It's very good to have that in your weapon arsenal.
Great play from Pistola. I mean, just broke the shield and immediately ran it, knowing that he couldn't be challenged. And now look at this, Inconceivable are 2 dead. Pistola's got that flag past the 50-yard line. He's already got it back into his gen. This is genius from Pistola. What seems like such a simple, quick decision turns into what could be the winning cap. And Optic Gaming clutch up, and it's all down to Ola.
And what is arguably one of Optic's worst game types, well, they're starting to turn it around. And look how glorious they look on the screen as well. But Optic, they played it perfectly. Pistola looked great for that last final pull, but what was happening off screen was Lucid going nuts with the heat wave. That's what you need as a player. You need to have that support when you're running the flag. You need to have someone just consistently slaying out for you. And not only was he slaying, he also got in position to finish that flag just in case Ola went down.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Optic Gaming in those final moments, but I'm always impressed by the plays that kind of are made without firing a gun.
In their favor, they just turn things around. One player will step up, and then as soon as one does step up, the rest of the team seem to follow suit. I'm expecting to see a lot of prioritization for the Bulldog here, and teams are going to be passing it around and trying to do as much damage as possible.
Rockets immediately in the hands of Optic Gaming, as APG has them. 2 fallen to other Optic players around the map for now. Ola trying to move up onto those trash canisters as now the push is going to be made. APG tries to move in and collapse, like you're saying, on these final players alive. But Inconceivable doing a pretty good job of surviving for now. But as I say that, it's going to be 5-2 now, the lead to Optic.
They did delay well, and Bound gets a really important kill. But now there's 2 dead, and it means that the rest of Inconceivable need to quickly try and make up for those deaths, which is something they did do quite successfully there. And already I'm seeing how Optic are going to play this game type. If they get 1 or 2 dead, they are going to push on their advantage. They're going to make sure they take out those remaining players to really try and push that lead to a 4, 5, 6 kill gap at all times.
And it's a scary moment for Inconceivable, because every single time that you're not trading and not going for 1 for 2 in kills, Optic are going to collapse and Optic are going to make you play into their hands a little bit here, as Snipedown's going to be playing around the arcade. We're on the board with Booba right now, and you can see the Lucid just kind of suppressing them at the moment with that Sentinel beam, but it doesn't matter because Booba is going to hit the shots he needs to create the opening here. 2 dead for Optic.
And are we going to see Inconceivable now do the same thing as Optic were doing, Mark? Are they going to collapse? Are they look to try and prioritize these advantages, or are they going to play this one a little bit differently? Sit back, allow the spawns for Optic, but force Optic to be consistently spawning down towards station so they always have that height advantage. There's 2 different ways you can play, but it looks like Optic off spawn, they all pushed out successfully. They picked up some big frags here.
They did indeed. It just seems like Inconceivable are just a second or so off each other at the moment. But look at this position coming in from Bound. Manages to turn that situation into a trade. Pistola will also pick up 1 mid-map, as it looks like they're trying to set up around those rockets that are going to be coming up in just a few moments. But the score still in the favor of Optic, and it's that awkward moment now for Inconceivable where a couple of things don't go your way and all of a sudden you're playing catch-up.
Assault rifles, Bulldogs, heat waves, there's always something in these Optic Gaming player hands. And look how everything slows down now as the rockets came up, APG was able to grab them, and Inconceivable don't want to give away any free kills.
APG did have those rockets, like you mentioned. 3 now fall to Inconceivable, and the collapse is going to come in on Booba from all of the players. But look at that spawn that came in. Pistola, the Scarpa's back to once where he came, as the rest of his teammates not quite into position to keep him alive for now. Pistola will fall, but a 6-2 start for him in this game is the perfect way to kick things off. Falcated in a 1v1. Falcated losing the 1v1 to APG, as Lucid also falls alongside him. Trippy trying to play his life, and look at that teamwork. Pistola and Trippy working so well together.
A map like this lends perfectly to the playstyle of Pistola, and I think that's why you see the fact he's 6-3, but he's got no assists. Usually, he's the player to finish off those kills. He's just listening. He doesn't call out as much as the rest of the team. Often those comms are flooded by the other 3 players, and he will just happily listen and do the damage after it's been dealt by the rest of his teammates. This is starting to become even more so of a lead now. 7 kills in favor of Optic Gaming, and Inconceivable, they need to stop this pattern of play, and maybe that will do it.
If Ola would have done that, that wouldn't have been a nice thing to see if you're an Inconceivable fan. It would have been pretty cool from my point of view, though. Optic Gaming now moving to set up, and a couple of them respawning around that tram station as Inconceivable try and keep the aggression up. But at the moment, the aggression is being met with Bulldogs, rocket launchers, BRs, 6 consoles. It doesn't matter what it is at the moment, because Optic Gaming are just looking so strong here, Dan.
It's now an 8-kill lead. And every time you see that kill feed, you're right, it's either rockets or it's a Bulldog. It's a power weapon, essentially. And that's something that Optic have always been able to show their dominance over other teams, is how well they do maneuver their way around the map and pick up these weapons. I mean, Pistola there, of course, knowing where the rockets are, and at the moment they're being passed around. No one can really get hold of them. Trippy with the perfect.
I mean, this man, he just impresses me more and more every single time I'm on his POV. He just isn't making mistakes. And when you ain't making mistakes and your shots are looking as nice as they are, you're going to be one hell of a player. 9-4 at the moment is Trippy. Bulldog in hand, make that 10-4 as Trippy is starting to roll, and all of a sudden, Optic Gaming are starting to steamroll Inconceivable.
Yeah, it just seems like when Inconceivable turn a corner, there's Trippy, bang, he's got a Bulldog, and it's so difficult to play the map when you're always fearing someone pushing around with a shotgun, or with rockets, or with a Stalker rifle. It makes everything just near impossible at times, and now with a 10-kill advantage, Optic can play this one however they like. They can chill. They just need to stay in a close proximity of one another so they can finish off and trade kills, and they will win this game if they play that way.
Optic aren't letting them rest for a moment, though. Look at this. It's just stifling from Optic Gaming. They're playing this game at their own pace, and Inconceivable quite simply cannot keep up at the moment. Optic Gaming are on the running track. Inconceivable look like they're in the mud at the moment. A 10-kill lead for Optic Gaming. You don't see them throwing this one away.
Good trade there from Snipe Down, but you know full well that Optic have got Inconceivable scrambling at the moment. I can only imagine that comms are going to be a little bit all over the place. Off spawn, they haven't been able to regroup very often. They're always fighting either just as a solo or as a duo. Very rarely have they been able to fight as a full four in a team, because Optic are just keeping them on that really restricted spawn cycle, and APG's got another set of rockets.
I mean, APG's had rockets pretty much all game, it would seem. 11 kills for Brad. Only the 8 deaths to go alongside it. Every single member on Optic Gaming, as I look across, outside of Pistola, was on the right side of a kill-death ratio. Booba-doobu, he'll be taken down as APG once again adds to his tally, 42 to 27 at the moment. You want me to start the grill up, Dan, because if they're not careful, we might be having a little bit of extra meat on the barbie today.
And Falcated probably fearing for his life right now, because you know full well, as soon as they realized Falcated was the last remaining player in station, Optic were gonna push it. Relentless aggression, not giving Inconceivable time to breathe whatsoever. This one is all but over, unless it was a miraculous comeback from Inconceivable. But the way these boys are shooting, Mark, on set, Optic are just on a different level.
Well, they avoid the steak dinner. I think that's one thing that Inconceivable can maybe take away from this game, but outside of that, it's just been the Optic Gaming show. 2 kills away from closing things out. There's the 49th. Charge because we can't lose. Bulldog in hand. That's the game. Optic Gaming up by 2.
Up by 2 and 1 away from moving into the grand final once more here in the NA Kickoff qualifier. But for Inconceivable, even though that wasn't the best of games for them, we do have to look at the statistics previously for this Optic squad. They are very good on that game type. It is one of their best, and for good reason. They know how to dominate the weapons. They know how to push together as a unit. They're constantly collapsing on their opponents, and we're going to need to see something a little bit different from Inconceivable going into the rest of this series.
The tough thing for Inconceivable is, how do you react to a game like that? I can't remember anything where I'm looking at Inconceivable during that game and going, hey, that was a good play. They were just being stifled constantly. And when you're going into an oddball game type here, Dan, when we move over to our next game, which is potentially going to be the last one of the series if Optic keep playing at the level that they are, you know, it's so difficult to break a setup on this team. We're seeing them win their ones. We're seeing them control the weapons. We're seeing them do everything.
Done their research, they would have been looking at why they were bad at their game type, looking at why they lost that game type, and they would have been practicing that game type. We'll see whether that comes to fruition here.
Well, this is the chance maybe for Inconceivable to get a foothold. Opening strategy is going to be vital, and when the first kill doesn't go your way, maybe things don't look as strong, but the second and third do. Trippy manages to pick up a double, so Pistola and Trippy, the last 2 alive. And speaking of Pistola, we're going to watch a little bit of his point of view, which is nothing to ever be disappointed about. He's got that mangler in his hands, but where was that camo? It looks like it might have been burnt by one of the players. Oddball is closest here to Snipe Down, who's trying to maybe make a little bit of a play, but unfortunately he's going to be taken down. One
of the things that Optic were unable to do against Cloud9 when they lost this game type in previous tournaments is they weren't scavenging the time as much as C9. The kind of 1 or 2 seconds that sometimes you can pick up in really unorthodox areas is where Cloud9 found their success. So if Inconceivable could do something similar here, get this ball out of bottom middle, get it into a different area, and actually just stack up some time and just slowly but surely dwindle away at Optic's chances of getting back into the game. And they're doing it just here. Booba-doobu's actually got the ball to yellow. The ideal setup for ball, I would say, is having the ball in this area.
Also got the shock rifle, and if you can hit a couple of nasty shots with this, a couple of headshots, And things all of a sudden look a little bit more simple. However, a couple of grenades are going to make it a little bit more difficult. Ola's going to be pushing, and even though 2 shots did connect, it was only body shots, so they don't get the kill initially. Boobadoo would be taken down as well. And what a break this has been, by the way, from Optic Gaming. 4 dead for Inconceivable. That was far too simple.
You talk about breaking setups, and that is the perfect demonstration of it there from Optic. Collapsing from all areas, utilizing the Mangler to get up close and personal of the priority position, which is top yellow, the player that was holding the shock rifle. Do Inconceivable have the same kind of strategy? Well, it looks like they've been able to walk their way into pipes here and at least take the first down.
Pretty much a tied game at this point. No one's really been able to hold things down. Kill's going to be traded, but a big push coming in from Inconceivable. Onto the blue side of the map. Great situational awareness there from APG. Unfortunately for him, Falcated and Snipedown both lurking around bottom middle. I'm going to pick up that kill, but here's Pistola. A couple of shots put into his back. As now Falcated has the opportunity maybe to pick up that first kill that we were talking about being as so important. When you are trying to hold a setup, manages to get one, and not only getting one as well, he's got the Mangler in his hands. Camo Mangler, the only thing that is maybe better than just having the camo itself.
Yeah, and also just can be... It can strike fear into the rest of the lobby when you know Camo and Mangler is on the map. And Falcated had so many decisions to make when he had Camo there. He saw Pistola walk past him, but he knew not to try and go for a back smack and follow him because his footsteps would have given him away. Ola would have turned around, and you can just see that little glimmer of camouflage. So Falcated played it perfectly, and he's on a killing spree now because of it.
Look at the score as well. They're about to cross the 50-point mark in this game, so halfway to closing out that first round. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock as well. Falcated just trying to do his best to be the bodyguard for his teammate here. He's just holding that ball, but here comes the push now from Optic Gaming. Snipedown picking up 1 kill. Falcated picking up another as well. Trippy, the only player alive who can maybe look to force the play ball. The play ball, is it going to come in? Yes, it just slides over the edge there. Bound flies in once more. Trippy trying to do what he can to stay alive. And for once, Trippy going to lose the 1v1. It's Inconceivable still hold that lead.
Unfortunately, just not enough ammo there, and the reload, I think, threw him off a little bit too much. But the ball now being back into top middle, suddenly attentions are turned to the camouflage. Both teams are going to somewhat set up for this, try and prioritize it, because it could be the difference of getting that ball out of top middle. It's not something you always see. The camouflage is not often going to pick up the ball, but if it can just allow you to toss it towards a teammate, it can really make a difference.
Trippy versus Falcated. Falcated will win, but not without taking a beat down, which will be immediately traded out as Lucid slides in, not only for the trade, but also for the camouflage. APG holding that ball in a very interesting spot around the batteries as well, just scrapping up some ball time. As it's now around halfway for Optic Gaming to turn this game into a tied game. Lucid not only picking up a shock rifle, picking up the oddball with that grapple as well, and it's always wonderful to see him doing his weekly shop here on Recharge as he picks up everything you need.
Camo into grapple, into shock rifle, into ball. The plays that Lucid has just made is everything that is amazing about the sandbox here in Halo Infinite, because he has just allowed so much time to be gathered for Optic Gaming, which wouldn't have been gathered if he hadn't have been able to provide so much for them. But a big double coming out of bound just to stop the time here for Optic.
Booby trying to flank as well. APG's going to have to wait for his shields. Booby-Dooby's not going to be able to push for now, but Boo-Boo kind of juked him a little bit there by taking a slightly different angle. Snipedown now holding the ball, and what a transition this is. 3 dead for Optic Gaming. 74 seconds left on the clock, and Snipedown also has the sword, but that is unfortunate timing for Snipedown, but even worse for Trippy. As Snipedown will cut him down to size for just a few moments, and look at that clock, Dan. 87 and rising here. Inconceivable getting closer and closer to closing out this first round.
Yeah, it has to be some perfect grenades now from Optic Gaming to stop this one. Boobie-Doobie should have enough, but look at the grapple, but it doesn't matter. Snipedown is there. That is going to be the first round for Inconceivable. And, I mean, you know, the sword is powerful. It does beat down faster as well. You don't see as many trades as you might have seen in previous Halos when that sword strikes you and you try to beat it down. It doesn't work out, but at least Snipedown, he positioned himself in an area where he could keep that ball very much protected.
Okay, you're trying to put the pressure onto Trippy here off the start of this game, and he's going to slide straight out. I think it's a little bit of a battle maybe going down for that sword. Boo Boo going to be flanking, but he's going to run into Pistola and APG, who are working together for now. But while all this damage has been going down, while the kills have been going down as well, Camo has found itself into the chest of Bound, so an opportunity for him to maybe make a play. Nobody making a move on that ball as yet.
Does have the Mangler as well. Gets the back smack, and Sword is available if they want to go for it. I think the Mangler will be enough for them. For Inconceivable, they just need to not allow Optic to get up any sort of momentum. I think Optic will be a little bit frustrated with losing that first one. There was a lot of scrappy time that was picked up by Inconceivable, but also some solid setups. And Inconceivable showing that even though they're not necessarily as well practiced as Optic Gaming, they certainly can be well drilled.
Yeah, this thing's the hand cannon. It's being used absolutely perfectly by Bound, and now he's going to try and show us every single way you can use this thing with a one-hit beatdown if anyone's foolish enough to walk past and not check their corners. Lucid, I don't want to call you foolish, but you've just been made to pay. And that killing spree is going to mean ball time here for Inconceivable. Only 16 seconds, but it is starting to creep up. Snipe down the man holding the ball.
You really have to check all your corners here on Halo Infinite. There's so many little nooks and crannies you can hide behind as Trippy gets the double, but will be shut down eventually. You can't just walk aimlessly into some of these spaces now, because there could be anyone waiting with a Mangler, with a sword, even just with a backsmack.
Shock rifle in the hands of APG. And a sword, we just got a little flash of there as well. It doesn't have a weapon to do consistent damage. It has to be big damage. So you're going to see Booba moving to pick up that ball. Snipe down. Will be taken down. Bound. He's going to bravely challenge APG and take him down as well. So both weapons down, but most importantly here, Oddball still in the hands of Inconceivable. And it's all about that score. And it's heading in the right direction for Inconceivable, but Trippy maybe has the chance to break down with his camo.
Just flying through the air, doing his best Spider-Man impression, but something I'm impressed with is Inconceivable consistently getting this ball into yellow, because they're getting so much time every single time they get a hold. It's 15 to 20 seconds, and it makes it so difficult for Optic Gaming to get back into it, because now with a 45-point lead, Inconceivable can continue to play scrappy ball time. Optic need a really solid setup to get back into this one.
And one stat that's really jumping out to me at the moment, well, I can say two stats. One is Lucid, currently no kills on the board for him in this round so far. He's 0 and 6. On the other side, Booba also 0 and 5, but he does have 101 seconds of ball time. So he spent most of the time with that ball in his hands. Trippy trying to look for a break. Lucid does pick up his first kill now. Ola will pick up another one, which is going to create the opening maybe that they're looking for here. Lucid now with the ball in hand, rotating towards a teammate. This is a really important kill for Booba to take one player down with him. He manages to do so, and that's just going to stagger things here. But obviously Gaming now have that hold. Can they turn this one around?
They've got the pipes area, and they've got sword to cover it. This is when it starts to get a little bit terrifying for Inconceivable. But, oh, the perfect use of the repulsor, not allowing the sword to get the kill.
Bound going to think about re-challenging, and Bound going to re-challenge. Pistola going to have to back up to keep that sword in his control. Two players have fallen for Inconceivable, though, as Pistola is basically bait at the moment. They know that they can't push him, so now they're just stuck up on that top platform. And Pistola is just going to re-invite himself to this battle. Snipe down is not as weak as maybe Pistola was hoping he would be. Two players fall for Optic. Inconceivable with a chance to push.
Sometimes you'll commit to a fight because you've had a call out of one shot or he's weak, but you know, it's not always going to be as weak as maybe your teammate thinks it is, and sometimes they've gained a little bit of shields. You do have to sometimes live and die by the sword of your teammates, though. The Falcate pushes in, but look at that. Inconceivable always got a player to make sure they finish off that kill and they get a little bit of scrappy time.
Well, they got the camo, but it wasn't a camo that's really going to change this game. Just a play ball, really the only effect that Booba had in that particular circumstance. As Snipe down and Bound pick up some kills. Lucid with the shock rifle in hand may have a chance to even things up, but look at the pressure coming in from Inconceivable. Feels like they're starting to roll a little bit more now, Dan. They're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, but is it too late in the series? They do still have the lead, and they do have the ball in their possession once more.
They still have a round advantage as well, so they can afford to let one slip and still come away with a victory here in this map, as Lucid getting up close and personal. And the movement that we see from this man, he's just utilizing everything that's available to him, whether it be repulsor, whether it be grapple, and he's always got a weapon in the back pocket that can do some up close and personal damage. Mangler, he's got commando, or he's got a sword. Like, he's just terrifying to play against.
Trippy has the sword for now for Optic. Lucid will go down. 3 players also falling, and Trippy is the last alive. So if Inconceivable or Quicker manage to collapse, they might be able to pick up some ball time here. Trippy now has been eliminated. Booba Doobie's going to try and stay alive as well. But Pistola will take him down. So Snipe Down with that ball in hand isn't going to have the protection that he needs. And that'll be a clean break here from Optic Gaming. They need the hold. Falcated has the chance to make a play though with that shock rifle. And he does exactly that.
So important that Falcated just milks a little bit of time here. APG recognizing there's only 1 minute on the clock. So we'll pick up the ball. And Inconceivable will have the decision to make. Do we just start to slay rather than set up and keep Optic away from this ball? Optic do have the chance to hold and set up, but Camouflage is coming up in 4 seconds. Inconceivable could try and use that to break this setup.
Boo Boo versus Ola just grazes the shoulder.
Ball carrier kill.
Snipe Down gets an important kill though, which might just even things up here in numbers. Snipe Down has the ball in hand as well, or maybe Snipe Down's thinking I can just milk some ball time. Well, the attention is being turned to my teammates. 3 dead here for Optic Gaming. APG, last player alive. He's off the respawn as well. This could be the second round if Optic do not move quickly. And this could be the game going to Inconceivable and them getting a foothold in the series.
I love the positioning from Snipe Down as well. Just ready to play that ball top middle if things get hairy because there's only 50 seconds left. Big doubles from APG though.
APG getting the triple. And that needed to happen. 93 points on the board. APG leading the charge. Managing to take 3 with him. Falcated is in the turbine though.
Oh, wow.
And he's managed to pick up a double kill now. And he's managed to slide in to take that ball as well.
Just 4 seconds left needed here. This could be it for time, and it could be for the map. It's going to be on set, and Optic Gaming just not able to collapse quick enough on Inconceivable. An entirely different story from what we saw in Street Slayer. The series goes on. Inconceivable not rolling over and showing their belly just yet.
I think Optic will want to watch the end of that game once more. They managed to clear out those yellow pipes. They managed to clear out everywhere they needed to and break the setup, but the respawn came in and they weren't quick enough to react to it. The flank just came in from...
However, if Inconceivable can do the unthinkable and take us to a Game 5, they would upset that 100% perfect record.
I mean, it sounds like a tall order here for Inconceivable to try and overturn a map that Optic Gaming probably at this point call home ground advantage. But if they want to extend this series and send it to a Game 5, which I'm sure that everybody who's watching right now, us included, wants to see, they're going to have to do exactly that. Sniper Rifle has been impactful in these game types as well. You mentioned Snipe Down. Looks like a man a little bit back to form when he's got that weapon in his hands. And maybe that's going to be the thing that's going to be the turnaround for Inconceivable. If they can keep a Snipe Down alive, find him in a position where he can hit those shots with Sniper and keep them at a numbers advantage.
Yeah, Snipe Down really was the difference maker when they played against C9 on the Slayer of this map. And if they can just shut him down, though, if they can not allow Snipe Down to go off and be that difference maker, then maybe Inconceivable may start to struggle. But I'm excited for this one. Optic Gaming have never lost live fire in competitive play, and that's 17 times they've played it, by the way.
Sniper Rifle will be in the hands of Optic Gaming to start off with. Lucid going to be the player who does have it. As we see players starting to transition, a lovely little quick flick shot there with the Sniper Rifle to break the shields, and this is a much better start for Lucid already. Pretty much what he had in the entirety of the last game that we saw on Recharge. Sniper Rifle going to be his, and also power-ups early on going to be going over to Optic Gaming. Overshield going to be popped now. And maybe thinking about picking up the Heat Wave too, and this is what you do not want to do if you're Inconceivable, Dan. Give Lucid this weapon.
You've also got to know which strongholds to prioritize and how you want to approach this as a team. There are 2 different ways you can play strongholds. You can be the team who likes to play with a little bit more structure, try and hold C and B, spawn the other team over towards A, or you can rotate as a unit. But look at Snipe Down straight away, pushing and trying to take that Sniper Rifle off of Optic Gaming.
That's such a big play from Inconceivable. It's not just taking, you know, Lucid out, which is tough. It's also taking the Sniper Rifle out of his hands, the Sniper Rifle out of Optic's hands, as well as the Heat Wave, and dealing with the Overshield. So even though Lucid was stacked to the heavens, it didn't have too much of an impact for now. But Inconceivable, you have to say, have had a really good start to this one, Dan. Currently fighting over C. It looks like Optic are going to try and make the play over at B, as Pistola's flanking flew through to make a few problems for them to do so. But 32-4 the score at the moment, but Optic finally turning things around. And if you're Inconceivable, you've got to be a little bit wary of this triple cap coming in.
Such great crossfire there coming from Pistola and Trippy, just holding their angles, making sure that Inconceivable have to always push through a choke, and they were almost ambushed. Lucid getting up close and personal finally does connect. But Inconceivable, they did have the early lead, but now look at this, a triple cap on set. Optic certainly know how to put pressure on the other team here on Livefire.
Yeah, if you noticed as well, that was the what I termed the reverse Father Christmas or Santa Claus, wherever you're from in the world, from Lucid as he shot up the chimney, up the vent towards top mid instead of the other way around. There was a lovely bit of baiting and switching, using that repulsor to get up there in front of the POV we were watching. APG now pushing in with that overshield, as you say. And a chance to put some real pressure onto Inconceivable now. The score starting to almost get to that point where you got to start worrying if you're Inconceivable, knowing you don't have many mistakes to make and knowing the record that Optic Gaming have. They're picking up the kills. And they're also picking up the strongholds.
Yeah, every time that Inconceivable were moving to one of these more structured strongholds, where I'm talking about C and A, Optic are just moving over to the other one. Look, A's being taken and C is being taken because of that. So great recognition from Optic, knowing that Inconceivable are going to be transitioning to try and get A, to try and get C, whereas realistically, Inconceivable need to take B off of Optic here if they really want to try and put some points on the board.
APG with a sniper, but nothing connecting for now. B and C in their control. Okay, and unfortunately for APG, survived for just a few seconds. He had no ammo to work with that sniper rifle. Finally going to be able to pick up the reload. You're seeing the heatwave trails as well, and that's going to be another player with a weapon that's going to have a big impact. Look at this angle from APG as well, just doing a lot of damage at the moment, surviving well as his teammates move towards A to get that conversion.
But look what happened. Inconceivable recognized they needed B. They moved over towards B. Optic slayed them at B. The last remaining player of Inconceivable went to C, so Optic said, okay, well, we'll have A. There's just such good reaction at the moment from Optic to transition from one stronghold to the other, but finally a little bit of control now, and a lot of control, with it being total control for Inconceivable.
APG gonna have to work with his team to start the conversion over A, but he knows that Snipe Down is there and he's gonna get the over shield, but he's not, because the teammate will finish off. The damage done. Falcated now jumping up top middle. APG doing everything he can at the moment to convert A, almost single-handedly at this point. Falcated's in position to challenge, but a teammate is there to hold APG's hands and give him the support that he needs to get the conversion. A-B in control of Optic, looking to extend that lead.
Just give you a little bit of an update of what's happening elsewhere in the bracket. Sentinels have defeated Cloud9 3-1 in a 250-45 on Stronghold's recharge. So Sentinels on that comeback story. Cloud9 dropping out in top 4, which means we get that rematch that we've all wanted. E-United versus Sentinels will happen in the elimination bracket.
Oh, wow. Keep your social media open. That's going to be one for the eyes, but we'll turn our attentions back to this game as Trippy is surviving for now. You can see the fight is going down over at B, so Trippy trying to move over to assist his teammates to defend this one. Falcade inside, though, and he almost got the conversion. Did he get the reset? It looks like he might have just done. Inconceivable diving back onto B, though. They know how desperate they need to turn this back around.
Already find themselves almost 100 behind now. And they've really got to hold on to A and B, but also do exactly what Optic were doing to them, flipping A and C consistently, depending on where they see Optic spawn. You can see all 4 dead for Optic right now, and off the rip, APG needs to make a difference here. Try and stop Falcated from taking C.
Falcated happily to bait, though. Pistola is going to be trying to rotate back with APG, but look at the damage that Falcated is doing, and now the attention is all on him. And the kills, I was going to say, might be going his way too, but that heat wave from Pistola and a little bit of work from a teammate too. Okay, at least give them the opening to have a bit of freedom on the map. One player has fallen for Inconceivable. He's now come back off of that respawn. APG has fallen too. But look at the battle now going down for the overshield. Pistola trying to do what he can. There's another player skulking around these pillars somewhere. It's Boo Boo Doo Boo who's going to re-challenge now. Pistola in a really important battle around this OS. Just trying to bait. Boo Boo wins it. Now can he get that overshield and pop it into his chest?
Yes, he can, and slowly but surely Inconceivable are starting to work their way back into it. But every time they think they've got a little bit of control, Optic once again puts some more points on the board, and they're contesting C at the same time. I think that's what's scary, is that as soon as Inconceivable think they can push successfully towards A or B, they just lose their one controlled point, and they're really struggling to get points on the board because of this.
Found being pushed by numerous members of Optic Gaming here, calling that out immediately to his teammates as well. Survives some grenades, doesn't quite connect with that no scope, and APG is going to make him pay, but not without his life being taken before he does go down. And speaking of going down, 4 have fallen now for Inconceivable. What a hold that was. And now they have sniper rifle, they have AB, they have C as well. The triple cap is on, and this is looking like Inconceivable are starting to find form, Dan.
Both teams trying to consistently push for that triple cap to really take advantage of the extra points you get when you are in total control. But now for Optic Gaming, they spawned at A. They have to try and work their way towards B. That's why Lucid is forcing his way out of Garage as APG is pushing down through bottom middle. That is a perfect break of setup. They should be able to get B because of it, and they can start to collapse on Boo Boo Doo Boo at tower.
Yeah, just a little bit questionable, the plays from Falcated there. Just looked like he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do, and gave away that first death in the team fight. Instead of being a more difficult kill, maybe holding an angle with that sniper rifle. But that's all history for now. A snipe down and bound will pick up some kills to maybe give them an opportunity to at least open up the map. The overshield's going to be coming up pretty soon as well. So for now, Pistola's just going to be patrolling through the cuts here, looking to see if anyone dares try and approach this C stronghold to convert it.
Nice snipe as well. That's what you got to do. You saw him just eyeing it up, teasing it, and some people would miss that one, but you know full well snipe down is not going to. And if you've got a sniper rifle in your hands, you've got to be hitting those shots. Otherwise, you're really going to be punished as a team.
A and C. Inconceivable do control. Lucid meet snipe down. Meet the end of a gun. As the snipe beatdown does come in, Lucid doesn't get that flank as snipe down is starting to warm up a little bit here. Looking at the stats, he's 14 and 15 overall, but now he makes it evens as snipe down's gone into a lot of players call snipe down mode. He gets a little bit quiet, but the stats start to speak for themselves.
Such a big lead for Optic Gaming, but now Inconceivable have brought this one right back, and they may start to take a lead if Optic aren't careful here. They've managed to at least grab C, but they need to once more prioritize B here. Falcated is going to be the nuisance. If they can take him out straight away, they might be in a spot to take it, and at least you've got the heat wave in hand.
Gonna be a triple cap here for Optic as well. And with the heat wave on the sandbags, top middle, and with Lucid starting to collapse with APG, this is looking like the kind of push that you want to see if you're an Optic fan. He narrowly misses one shot. Falcated, that is a vital double kill as it does open up C for Boo Boo Doo Boo to move in. Pistola now, you can see he's got the angles that he wants. He's got Falcated in front of him too. He is a thorn in the side here of Inconceivable.
210. They're so close now, our Optic Gaming. Inconceivable know if they get all 4 dead and they allow one more trip cap, it might be all she wrote with this series. They may be dropping down to the elimination bracket, but they're still fighting with every single life here to try and push Optic Gaming as far as possible.
Oh, it's a big kill on B from Boo Boo Doo Boo. BC in control. Trippy needs to do what he can to clear him out of this stronghold. Whoever wins this fight might actually be more influential on the game than people realize. It is going to be APG who comes to help his teammate. Snipe down now isn't going to be able to do what he needs to do. But the conversion also doesn't come in. So BC still in the control of Inconceivable. They're scoring for now. As now you're going to see the rotation from Optic to take C.
It's going to be, again, the fight for B, and Bound is going to be the holding point here for Inconceivable. So he needs to try and get in a position where he can get some assistance. At least he's got the heat wave, which is sometimes assistance enough. But look at this. Look at the power weapons that Lucy's just found on the floor.
Not only that, he was also full of overshield. And at the moment, Optic look like they're about to close things out. BC in their control. They're starting to work on A as well. And if anyone rotates back, they're going to feel the end of a sniper rifle bullet from Lucid. That's a beautiful headshot. Falcated, you have one as well. And all of a sudden, Lucid is reminding us that he is still a big part of this lineup.
That's going to be the series for Optic Gaming. Inconceivable gave it a fantastic go. But considering they hadn't lost any live fire games in 17, I did feel like it was going to head